All right, I got something entirely different planned for today. If you're a regular viewer of the channel, you know I absolutely love a bait called a Zimmer swimmer. I love it because, quite frankly, it just catches a ton of fish. It's an outstanding bait. Now, my favorite colors in that bait are Candy Bug and California 420. I catch a lot of fish on those colors. But every now and then I get in some really spectacular water and I want a more subtle color. So I've arrived here at the manufacturer. They're gonna make me a special bait, a special color, Zimmer swimmer. It's gonna be the same mold, but in a color that I've asked for them to make. Now, Zimmer swimmers are marketed by a company called Z's Tackle. It's one of my sponsors, but they're actually made by Captain Lane Zimmer. He's a longtime fishing guide, fished out of Lafitte, now he fishes out of Delacroix. He's also the manufacturer of the Death Grip Jig Head, which you know I love and use that exclusively. So I've just come to Lane's shop. Here it is on the West Bank here in the New Orleans area, and he's gonna make me my special color. Then we're gonna try and put it to use and see what it'll catch. All right, this is gonna be really entertaining. Come along with me. Let's see this bait getting made. This one's open. Definitely smells like plastic. Look at this. Wow. Well, I guess we gotta leave. What's up, man?
Yeah, how's it going? Good to see you.
So what kind of IQ do I have to come in this area?
Oh, it's all right. I'll make a pass for you.
Thanks.
This is Ian.
Hey, what's up, Ian?
It's gonna be
Todd
helping us out this
Masson.
morning.
Nice to meet you, man. This is pretty impressive. How long you been in this building?
3 years.
Really, that long? Okay. This is gonna be cool, man. You're gonna blow my mind today, I'm sure.
You want to see how we create a bait from scratch?
Yeah,
All right.
if we could.
Let's work over to the computer room and get everything started.
Let's do it.
Well, this is how baits normally get started. We'll start off with a CAD drawing. This is the Zimmer swimmer.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll draw out the bait, you know, have it look like what we want it to look like. And from there, we can make what's called a sample mold, which is basically a single cavity test mold.
Okay.
That we can test the function of the bait. You know, that way we don't have to waste a whole lot of material making, you know, big production mold.
Sure.
We're just testing it out to make sure it's going to work right.
Okay.
From there, we take it from the sample mold to the big production mold.
Ah, okay.
Which we will see in just a few minutes. That gives us the big number of cavities. That's after everything has been tested and we're happy with the bait. Now we can go ahead, cut the mold, get it ready for the machine.
Kind of mass manufactured.
Yeah, this is our production mold.
Okay.
That's basically how everything is started.
Okay. Now, are you a CAD guy? Like, did you build all this yourself, or did you have somebody build it for you?
I taught myself how to do all
did?
this.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, over the years I've learned how, you know, to do the drawings and then how to create the molds and do all the other stuff, building up to being able to do everything here at the shop. Like the big mold that we just saw in the CAD drawing, this is actually it in physical form.
Okay.
We'll open it up. You see all the cavities are here. Everything that we saw in the drawing is here. These little inserts guide the plastic into the bait cavities themselves to let us do single color, two color, you know, whatever pattern we want to do. And then we also have slide bars here that lets us do different color tails. So there's a lot of options built into this mold to let us do whatever we want.
So basically, the slide bar would just stop the injection.
Yep.
And you can.
I got it pinned down right now. But it'll slide down. It'll cut the cavity off, so we can shoot the body, shoot the tail, whatever.
Okay.
And then come back and shoot the other half, and everything melts together.
Okay.
So it all becomes one piece. And then once, you know, everything is all said and done, close it up, and we put it into the injection machine itself.
Okay.
All right. So the plastics will start off in the buckets like that. They'll be pre-colored, you know, for whatever color we feel like doing. Then the pumps will take it in. This plastic, the way it's formed, has to be heated up. So it goes through these heat exchangers, and it's all pneumatic, it's all air driven, and it's all injected into the mold, and the machine does all the timing and all the functions we need to. And then when it opens up, we have fresh baits, they're ready to roll.
Wow. I mean, so when you started, did you have all this, or did you have you had like a prehistoric method?
Yeah, a microwave and what looks like a metal turkey based in a little bitty mold.
Come on, really?
That was 12 years ago.
That's awesome, dude.
So yeah, we've grown a lot in the last few years, especially since COVID, when everything got real busy. It allowed us to buy the shop and some more equipment and stuff like that. And now we've opened everything up to other baits, you know, other companies that we make baits for. So it's not just us that we make baits for. We actually have several companies we make baits for.
Including Z's Tackle,
Yeah,
obviously.
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. You know, I kind of mentioned to you the color that I was looking for. You think number one is doable, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. And you got them all loaded on here, or what?
Well, I have a bucket ready.
Okay.
But we have to put our glitter in and color it up. So
Okay. All right. Good.
I'll turn
All right.
the thing on, and I'll turn one of the mixers on, and we'll go ahead and glitter it up. I'll have Ian start the machine. It takes about 20 minutes for us to get it up to temperature.
Okay.
And once it gets going, we'll start making baits.
Sweet. All right. I'm excited.
Let me turn a mixer on
All
here.
right.
And all it does, it mixes the plastic itself. The plastic looks like a big drum of milk. Actually, is pure white once we get it in its raw form. But once it goes through the heating process, it actually turns clear and it turns almost syrupy.
Okay.
And then when it solidifies, that's the soft plastic you see.
Do you use that as a base for all colors that you make, or is there different bases for different colors?
No, colors, we can do whatever color with whatever plastic we got. Now, there are different strengths to the plastic.
Okay.
Like the soft stuff that we use for the bass stuff and things like that. And then the really hard stuff like we use with the ghost
minnow. Okay.
So that we do have varying strengths of plastic that we use, but the coloration process is all the same.
Okay. All right.
All of these plastics, once heated up, all turn crystal clear.
Okay.
So we do what we want from there to get wherever we want.
Okay.
Red, blue, and silver, correct?
Red, blue, and silver. Yep.
All right.
There we go. Look at that.
And on this, it's very simple. It's basically just adding 1 scoop, 2 scoops. That's going to be our concentration we're looking for this particular recipe. We just have to do all 3.
Now I'm wondering if you can let me name this. I got a name in mind.
Yeah, we can name it.
So I'm thinking glass blast.
Okay.
You know, because it's glass, clear like glass, but it looks like kind of like a firework.
Yeah, sure. We can
All
do
right.
that. All right. So now we have our blue, our silver, and our red. The bucket is colored up. I'll let the mixer do its thing. And I'll have Ian crank the machine up to get everything started. This newer machine I have is probably the more fancy one. It has all nice touchscreen stuff. It's also a quieter machine.
Okay.
That little machine there actually pumps water into the machine itself to cool off the mold and make everything, nice and cool for you to be able to touch everything. If not, this stuff will actually heat the mold up pretty good. You won't be able to actually touch it.
Okay.
This keeps the mold and everything usable to where you can just use it with your bare hands.
All right, so the machine is warmed up.
Yep.
We're ready to go.
It's ready. It's warmed up. Let's go ahead and pop the swimmer mold in here. Let's see what our color looks like when it comes out. Slide her in, close the door, let it roll. Now what the machine is doing, the little pump just brought in a bunch of plastic from the bucket and now it's injecting everything through the heat exchanger and simultaneously filling the mold.
I feel like a kid waiting for Christmas.
I know. Alright. That cycle is over with. These baits are ready. The clamps are going to open up. And we'll open the safety door and we should have some brand new Zimmer swimmers. There we go, y'all. First look.
Look at that. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. That's exactly the color I was looking for. Still a little warm.
Yep, but you can still touch it.
Yes.
So we're going to go ahead and take these, pick them up straight out of the mold, and we're going to hang them. They go on these racks here. And we'll leave them there. They need to sit and cure for, half a day or so. And they'll be ready to package after that. So now, time to close up the mold. Next round is going in.
Make another batch.
Easy as that.
Now, how many baits is that?
That has 22 baits every shot.
22.
If I wanted to do another bait in the same color that we're doing the swimmer in, all I have to do, grab another mold, pop this guy in here, how we're making other baits
Same
while
color.
we're undoing
Right.
the swimmer mold. So we got another round of swimmers. We'll go ahead and hang these guys up.
Let them cool.
And get ready for this one to come out.
What is that?
The mold I put in there is another Z's tackle bait. It's called the Joe Baby. It's a little small crawfish looking type bait. So it's going to be the exact same type of plastic that the swimmer's in, just in a different shape. So if I wanted to, I could run multiple molds or multiple, you know, whatever baits we wanted, all during the same thing. I could just take a mold
color.
in and out
Right.
instantly and make another type of bait.
Right.
So if I wanted to, let's say, hey, what color we're running, what would that look like in a particular bait? Well, we swap the mold out, pull a quick sample like this,
and we get to see
tell you
it.
exactly what it looks like. And there we go.
Wow. Yep.
That's our Joe Babies in that same color that we're running the swimmer in. Same
Beautiful.
thing. We take these, hang them over here, let them dry.
So you can see Lane's got baits absolutely everywhere in here. Some of them even already have hooks in them. What do they call it? The boom boom shrimp, huh?
The boom boom shrimp for 4 horsemen.
The boom boom shrimp for 4 horsemen.
What were we naming it, Tom?
Glass Blast.
Glass Blast.
Yep.
I got it. All right, we're gonna go ahead and create a packaging label for it. Just
There we
like
go.
that. Blast it is.
There it is.
So this is how the packaging portion of this goes. This is actually the most time-consuming part of the whole bait making process, is putting everything in a bag. We'll go ahead and put the label on the back. That's the Zimmer swimmer bag. And each one of these, we just grab and pull. They come off the mold just like this. Now we're pulling these a little bit early because it takes, you know, some time to actually get these baits to cure properly. But we don't have, you know, a whole nother day to come back
Right.
and do the show with cured bait. So we'll go ahead and pack these up just to show y'all how that's done. Now inside this little bucket, there's a little bit of packaging oil. And what that does, it helps the bait just slide into the bag. If not, the plastic bait in the bag will actually kind of put friction on each other and make it difficult to package.
That makes sense. I didn't know why y'all did that.
That's why it's difficult to package if you don't do it. Now we'll go ahead, start lining baits up and make them look nice and pretty. It does take a minute, especially with the swimmer tails. We like to leave them nice and flat in the bag so they don't curl up and bunch up.
So you can't just throw a dozen baits in there.
You know, I wish I could, but I can't.
Take your time. I got
Some
it.
baits we can, but some baits we can't. And I am actually not the fastest one doing this. Janine is my bait bag and all-star. She can get this done in no time.
She's on baby duty right now.
On baby duty. So I got to do everything now.
I can't tell you how eager I am to use these. They're going to produce. I'm 100% positive. They're going to catch fish.
All set. Give them a little push like that, and
Look at that. There's my baits. How about
the
that?
new Glass Blast one.
Glass Blast. You've seen it here first. Got the name on the back and everything.
Yep.
This is going to work. Dude, I'm super excited. Thank you so much for showing me your process.
Got something here.
I think so. But, you know, the fish will tell us. We'll see. All right, I got the hook up. Lane loaded me down with Glass Blast, Zimmer swimmers, and now I'm in the marsh. Well, not really in the marsh, on the edge of a lake, right on the border of the marsh, and I'm gonna see what I can catch with this bait. Water looks spectacular. Sun's not even up yet. It's coming up in that direction, but it isn't up yet. But I just stopped. I'm getting the cameras and all that ready, and there's bait popping all around me, so I definitely like our chances. Let's see what we can catch. All right, I'm gonna fish this bait at least a couple of different ways. But first off, I've got it rigged on a 1/4 ounce death grip jig head. I've got that tied to about a 2 foot, maybe 2.5 foot leader. This is mono, 17 pound mono, and 30 pound braid main line. connected with a double uni. I stopped along this lake shoreline, and like I said, there's bait popping around me, but what I don't like, I'm just seeing it's pretty shallow up close to the shoreline. I'd like it to be a little deeper. But I'm gonna make a quick pass here, see if I can run across some fish. Hopefully it'll deepen up closer to the shoreline in some areas. We got a little bit of a west wind this morning, not much at all. I'm sure it'll pick up once that sun gets up. Current time is 6:45, so that sun's gonna be coming up pretty soon. Sunrise is getting late, which I love. The only bad thing is we're about 6 weeks away from the time change, and then it'll get early. Wish we'd do away with that time change and just stick with daylight saving time year round. Late sunrise and late sunset. Water temp is 85 degrees. It's really warmed up a lot. We're in a little heat wave here in South Louisiana. In fact, today it's supposed to get up to 93. Really, really hot for late September. And sadly, no real cool fronts in sight. There's that sunrise. I have no idea what the tide is doing today. It's not a great range, so I don't know if it's rising or falling at the moment. Should fall this morning, but we'll see. Seeing some birds along the shoreline, shorebirds up ahead. It's a good sign there's some bait in that area. There's a fish. I don't know what this is. Feels weird. Doesn't feel big. Hadn't come up. Now he came up. Speckled trout. Not a big one though. First fish on the glass blast. This is a throwback speckled trout. Thanks for the fight, dude. All right, definitely not as much bait along this lake shoreline than I initially thought. I'm in this little cut here, and I'm seeing a little bit, but not an impressive amount, that's for sure. And not surprisingly, we haven't gotten a whole lot of bites. Still can't tell what this tide is doing. Looks like it's not really doing a whole lot, and that's, of course, not helping. But I may slip into the marsh to go see if I can find some moving water. And some bait, of course. Got to find the prey if you want to find the predators. Yeah, this water's dead. It's not moving at all. And no bait is going to produce in those conditions. But I can tell you this water clarity stays like this, these fish are going to go bananas when that tide starts moving. Oh, there's something. Is that a red? I don't know what this is. I really don't know. Kind of staying down. Doesn't feel gigantic. Oh, it's a good keeper trout. All right, there we go. That's a good fish. First keeper fish on the Glass Blast Zimmer swimmer. About a 14, maybe 15-inch speckled trout. See if he was a lone ranger or if he had buddies there. He was right in that little cut. That fish did not fight like a trout at all. Oh, goodness, that was a great hit. That's another trout. Another really good trout, even better trout. He threw my bait off, but I'm fine with that. That's a good trade. That fish absolutely crushed the bait. That's about a 16-incher. Good thing I brought a big bag of these. That was a really aggressive hit. That fish wanted that bait. All right, I posted up here to make a few more casts in that cut, and I can tell you the water's absolutely dead. It's not moving at all, which is fine. We're here in the lull, but it is gonna move. Like I said, we don't have much of a tide range today, but we do have some. It's like 0.8. So it'll move, but it's not moving right now. I think these fish will definitely feed a whole lot. I know they'll feed a whole lot better once that tide's moving. I think they're probably gonna go crazy. Because this water is good. And although I'm not seeing a lot of bait, I do suspect there's a lot around. It's just kind of chilling like everything else because the water's not moving. Dead tide and dirty water kind of combined for my two least favorite fishing conditions. If I had to pick the one I like the least, it would probably be dirty water. I hate that tide, I hate it. But you can usually find a few fish even when the tide's dead. It's hard to find fish when the water's filthy. All right, I'm at the mouth of a little bayou, super shallow here, 1.1 feet. Hopefully it's got some depth inside this bayou. But you can see no current lines or anything. No eddying water. Tide's just dead. Water's still gorgeous though. Still gorgeous. This bend right here will tell us a lot. If we got any depth there, I'll feel good about this bayou. There's one. Oh, good trout. All right. Well, not that good. Keeper, I'm pretty sure. Well, now I'm less sure. Definitely a 2023 keeper, but we're gonna let him go. I don't think he's a 2024 keeper. Good sign though. Right here in this mouth, it's 2.4 feet. It's deep enough for that guy. And actually, now that I'm in, oh, what is that? Another trout or a red? That's a red. That's not a trout. It's a small red. They like the glass blast as well. He's not even close to legal. Good to see though. Love to see these guys around. We're gonna stick a tag in this guy. Look how fat the belly is on that fish. That's a good sign. They're probably in here eating shrimp. Oh, another hit. All right, there's some fish right there. This water is trickling out. Is it the beginning of the fall or the remnant of the fall? I don't really know. Time will tell. Oh, another hit. All right, I keep getting bitten by these little black flies. Definitely got to put on some spray. There's a million of them out here. Not horse flies, just those little black flies. Use this mosquito hawk. It's not Marsh romance season yet. No gnats. But this time of year, biting flies can be a problem. Usually horse flies and deer flies, but today it's little black flies. All right, I got a bunch of hits here, but not a lot of connections. Probably a bunch of small fish. I'm gonna throw the cork before we leave just to see. You saw my last video, I whacked the fish on this power prawn under this Versamax Pro Max. All right, just a little shimmy on the cork. Something sampled it, but didn't really want it. We're gonna push up into the bayou. I noticed on my map there's a three-way coming up. With this tide starting to fall, that'll be a good area to check out. Hopefully get a few bites there. Oh, shoot, missed him. Definitely some small trout in the area. If you watched my last video, I caught two distinct schools of fish, 12 to 13 inches and 15 to 16 inches. Nothing in between. Okay, this bend is almost 4 feet. There's plenty enough water in this bayou. There's an old remnant of a dam up ahead. All right, six and a half feet here. That's good to see. Oh, there's a fish. All right, speckled trout. I don't know, dude. You're pretty long and lanky. You're pretty long and lanky. You got a shot. You might be 12 7/8, but we're gonna find out. Yep, he's 12 7/8. Lucky for him. Absolutely beautiful back here, just spectacular. All right, I made an exploratory run. Water is just as pretty, really, really nice. Perfect for the glass blast. Now, obviously this is a bait you only want to throw in pretty water. And I can tell you this, like if I was designing water in a lab for perfect marsh fishing, it would look a lot like this. So definitely good situation there. The tide's certainly picking up. So we just got to find some fish. I'm not seeing much bait right here, but we've got a bunch of cuts and all that coming up in this bayou. So definitely a target rich area. Just need to find some appropriate depth. Right here, it's only 3.5 feet, which is plenty deep enough for like a narrow little bayou. And that's what we got coming up. So hopefully it'll be that deep in those bayous. Very odd September day. I mean, it's only 8:30 and it's absolutely scorching hot. Feels like mid-July. I'm sweating double-aught buckshot. Man, this is a promising looking area. This water just fell off to 5.5 feet. Got a little cut right here. Got some eddying water. This looks very promising. Nope, just saw a shrimp pop. Something's after him. That's a good sign. Oh, good hit. It may be loaded up with little fish like the other area. There's some fish somewhere here. I just got to figure out where. It's part of the fun. Oh, there's a fish. Oh, my rod tip. Are you a red? Are you a trout? You're a nice trout, huh? Yep. There we go. I knew there's some fish here. Well, you're not as nice as I thought you were. You're what we've been catching. Man, you hit really, really hard. Really hard. I'm not even gonna measure him. I know he's between 12 and 13. Oh, there's a bunch of fish there. Ooh, good hit. Oh, goodness. There he is. Are there any keepers in the mix? You know, you figure this Zimmer swimmer is a bigger bait. Like, you would think these fish would be intimidated by it. A fish this size. I mean, this is a guppy. Shows you how aggressive speckled trout are. That dude's like, I'm not gonna have to eat for 2 weeks after I eat that thing. They have big mouths for a reason. There he is. These fish will be legal in just a month. Not long at all. Especially eating like they're eating. This is a great discovery, this little area. Well, if nothing else, I'm proving that this glass blast is super attractive in this clarity of water. I knew it would be. I'm not surprised in the least. Oh goodness, I missed him. Pleased, but not surprised. That was a good hit. You gotta be a better fish. You've got to be a better fish. How'd you hit that hard? Oh, of course you got off. There he is. Same size. They're fun, no doubt. They're just not big. Good for your starvation diet. Because they result in zero meat. Goodness, I threw in his mouth. He's got a shot, but I think he's a little bit short. We're gonna measure him. What's your guess, 13 or 12 and 7/8? Let's find out. There's never been a fish closer to 13 inches without being 13 inches. I probably could have twisted and contorted him to try and get him to be big enough. But not worth it. We'll find some nice ones. It's so often the case that you find something like this and you're catching small fish, undersized fish, and you change your angle or you change the exact area you're throwing to, and it's a completely different school of fish. It's almost like the bigger fish kind of bully out the little ones for the prime area. You just got to figure out what that prime area is. Okay, so it's 12 feet right here. That's why these fish are here. That's why this water looks like this. Substantial eddying. There's a lot of water moving through here. Quite a find. 14 feet. 14 feet. 16 feet. All right, time to continue exploring. Look at this Tranas. I mean, that's a very likely looking area. Oh, there we go. Oh, frick. There he is. Oh, bass, look at that. That's probably what I had on that last cast. Yeah, it's a nice bass too. If you're not a regular viewer, the marshes of South Louisiana hold a lot of these marsh bass. It's so awesome. I always love catching them. Look how deep this dude took it. All right. Oh, shoot, I missed him. Oh, he came back. What are you? Another bass. Oh, a nice bass. Good night. All right. Yeah, it's a real nice marsh bass. Glad to see these guys. They just kind of show up out of the blue in the fall. You have a very difficult time catching very many of them in the summer, but man, water gets just a little bit cooler and they get inspired. Believe me, I'm not surprised that the bass love the glass blast. A glass blast bass. I'm also not surprised they're in that Trenasse mouth. That is a bassy looking area. So obviously you never know if a particular bait or a particular color is going to produce, particularly on any given day. And believe me, I could have stumbled upon a situation where this glass blast would not produce today. You know, if this water were off, I couldn't find water that's this spectacular. But this is why I wanted this bait. For water that looks like this, I was very confident it would deliver in this clarity of water, and it definitely has. Now, we're back in the marsh in the middle of September, so we are catching a lot of small trout, but that's gonna change over the next couple weeks. There's certainly some bigger trout in here, but just not a high percentage. I'm still hopeful we'll find some, but the fact that these little fish are hitting it, that the bass are hitting it, that the redfish are hitting it, tells me it's a great color. But I knew it would be, I really did. I'm not surprised in the least. If you're new to the channel, or you're not from South Louisiana, a Trenasse is simply the French word, Cajun French, for marsh strain. And that's what everybody down here calls these marsh strains, Trenasse. As a general rule, you want to fish Trenasse mouths on a falling tide, and not everyone will, not everyone will produce, but you got to hit them all. You just have to. Sometimes you can sit at one and catch 10, 12 fish, cast after cast after cast. Man, it's 12 feet right here, 12 feet. There's got to be some fish somewhere around here. Got to be. Oh, there's one. Yeah, there's some fish. What we're finding everywhere. Gonna be a good fall. Croaking male. Oh, there's one. Speckled trout. And I think another throwback. Another croaking male. Look at that shrimp. Man, fish busting shrimp everywhere. Yeah, there you go. That's a bass, I think. I don't know what that is. I don't know what this is. I don't want to guess. I hope I get to see him. I think he's a bass, maybe a trout. He's going crazy. Yeah, it's a trout. It's a nice trout. All right, there we go. He went crazy. He didn't act like a typical trout. That's a good fish. That's a good trout. Oh, that's a fish. That feels like a good trout. Good enough. About a 14-incher. He'll make the cut for sure. He's definitely over 13. Oh yeah, he's a keeper. All right, I've reached the end of the bayou. You can see it right here. That's that big lake. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it a trip. It's 11 o'clock, and let me tell you, it is so hot out here, I can't even believe it. Definitely unseasonably warm for late, well, yeah, practically late September. I'm definitely ready for some legitimate fall weather. I know it's coming. None on the horizon, at least in the forecast, but I know summer's gonna come eventually. It'll make staying out here all day so much more pleasant. But mission accomplished today. We got to fish that glass blast Zimmer swimmer, and it exceeded expectations. I knew that thing would be good. Caught a ton of fish on it. These fish are gonna get a lot bigger as we move along, as these water temps fall. Because of these hot conditions like we have today, also the same thing yesterday, water temps are up. So that means those bigger fish that have moved in are less inclined to feed. But as they cool off, things are just gonna explode, and I can't wait for it. All right, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the Marshman Masson channel on YouTube. And until next time, if we don't see you in this marsh, we'll see you right here on Marshman Masson.